I have taken great pride in the rise of English whiskey, so much so I've launched a public-led whiskey awards around them, but it's about time I review possibly my favourite release from one of the most globally recognised English distilleries. But as it has taken me so long to get to this bottle, I fear I've already ruined it. Pour a glass and join me, Jeff Whisky, as we talk about the Cotswolds Distillery and the massively overlooked gem that is the Cotswold Reserve. And with that, let's crack on.
Jeff Whisky.
So single bottle reviews are few and far between on my channel now, but I'm aiming on sprinkling a bit more because that's kind of what this channel is all about, the whiskey. However, there is a reason why I have decided on this one specifically. See this bottle? Yeah, it's been sitting on my shelf for a while, and here's the problem. Once a bottle gets down to this level, the whiskey starts to oxidize.
Yes, science!
I'm sure I don't need to explain it to you, but it's when the oxygen takes over where the whiskey once was, and over time it can dull the flavours. Those bright, zesty notes get a bit flat, the sweetness can fade, and you'll lose some of the magic that was there in the early pours. You often see some folk, I know Ralphie used to, that was always about giving the whiskey air and letting it breathe once it's been poured. But when it's trapped in the bottle, it's a bit more of a dangerous game. Now, sometimes oxidation can round out a whiskey, but my rule tends to be, once it's below the halfway point, it's starting to get more air than whiskey, the countdown clock is ticking. So if you've got a bottle you love and it's down to the last third, either bring it to the front of your shelf and keep enjoying it, or decant it into a smaller bottle. Don't let your best whiskey go out with a whimper. But to the Cotswolds, in the grand scheme of whiskey, it's still relatively young. Founded in 2014, they are now a full-scale distillery in the beautiful Cotswolds, and they're a pretty huge part of the wider movement of English whiskey that's making waves across the whole whiskey world. Using 100% locally grown barley, they don't chill filter, don't add colouring, and bottle everything at a pretty respectable strength. Which brings us on to today's star, the Cotswolds Reserve Single Malt. This release has more of a bourbon cask influence, unlike their standard signature release, which is quite heavy on the SDR wine casks. This reserve dials things back a bit and provides, I guess some folk would call it a more like naturally pure spirit.
I just want to be pure.
And I'll be honest with you, this might just be my favourite bottle from the Cotswolds. Yes, I rave about the signature, and I will continue to do so. And the Founders is great, the peated cask is dangerously good. Some of their special releases have been pretty hit or miss for me though. But for a long time, this was the one that I always reach for most, as you can tell. So let's get into the good stuff and start this Cotswold Reserve review. Of course, I'm still chatting design. I love the look of the Cotswolds bottles. It's like countryside inspired label, lots of information. It's like a weighty, solid shape. Kind of feels premium without pretentious. I also dig the colour variations on the label, and the brown works well. And to my regular viewers, as you can see, I've got more hand movements, testing out this tiny little microphone here. Hopefully it works. But anyway, let's get this poured and start sniffing. Oh, there's this real lovely sweetness on the snout. Like custard cream, biscuits, malted milks. You really get that kind of malty cereal note, which I find across all Cotswold releases.
And breakfast cereals and fruit bats and large...
Skip a bit, brother.
It's kind of fruity, apples, pears, a little bit orangey. It actually reminds me a bit of the Deanston 18. Like it's also a little bit musty. It's such a good nose, like toffee popcorn. Yeah, just loads of like fruits floating around in there, creamy. So I'm definitely going with the out of 10 approach now. That scoring video I keep talking about is coming, I swear. 5 being an average, I think this is a pretty solid 7 on the nose. But that's enough sniffing, time to start sipping. Cheers. Straight away, a big hit of punchy malt, citrus spice. The 50% ABV is there. But it's not aggressive, just loads of fudge straight away. Caramel. Kind of those classic ex-bourbon notes. I really don't think this has lost anything to the air. Custard, that kind of fancy custard which comes with cream in it. I got it the other day as a substitution, so I was quids in. Cheers, Tesco's. Other supermarkets are available. There's this prickle, spice. It's quite hard to sip while speaking. I don't know how all these channels do it so smoothly. Like there's cinnamon, it's a tiny bit fizzy, a little bit drying, ever so slightly burnt rice pudding with like nutmeg in it, and also those fizzy apricot sweets, like tangfastics. I swear I mention that a lot. Yeah, it's pretty dense, it's clean liquid, it's creamy, mouth coating, hazelnutty, dangerously moorish. Bags of sweet vanilla, really warming. That finish really holds. It's a bit dusty, it's a bit earthy, it is a bit dry, but just a real hearty Weetabix of a whiskey in the best way. Yeah. Hearty, dense, clean and chunky. That was my nickname in school. Yeah, really impressed with this. And each time I return to it, I'm sure I've been so impressed. It's like a real chewy barley whiskey. For the first time getting like this like Parma Violet sweet taste as well. Pure, chewy, tasty whiskey. And I'm gonna go give it a pretty big, a very big 8 out of 10. I'm pretty dreadful for preparing for videos. I think it was around the £55 mark in 2022. So it's probably around the 60 quid mark. I am generally going to check now. So that's great. This is going to hurt the algorithm. It seems that they have stopped making this one now. It is not on their store online. Everywhere seems to be sold out, apart from someone selling it for 140 quid. Feel free to help out, give this video a like and chuck something down in the comments, because no one's going to be searching this now. Put anything. What's your favourite colour shoelace? I don't know. As always, in full transparency, this was actually a present from the awesome Ben, Mr. Good Juice. That is a strange nickname. Was formerly the Whiskey Diary, and he bought me the monthly Somerton Club bottle, which happened to be this. It was a congratulations on having a child, which means that this is a bottle from a while ago now. Make sure you go and pester his channel. Whiskey Tube needs his fantastic high quality videos. So with Somerton doing this as 50 quid, which is their part of their fantastic subscription range, £55 probably was the RRP, so we're going to say 60 quid now. Maybe a bit on the pricey side, but it is just a great whiskey. You're getting a non-chill filtered, natural colour, high strength single malt, which I'm going to say it competes with a lot of Scotch whiskies at a higher price point.
And I hereby undertake not to repeat any such slander at any time in the future.
But did letting this bottle get so low, did the air ruin this whiskey? Not at all. Really surprised at that. This is my first return to this in months, and it is just as beefy. Really is. A banging whiskey. Probably my favourite from Cotswolds. I've got their founders release down there, also looking pretty sorry for itself, so maybe I'll grab that next. I'm grateful to have you here. All the best. Cheers to the next one. Oh, almost dropped it.